Hey everybody, welcome to this Radio of Horror slash Spideydude Radio Network crossover show. We've done a few of these, mostly obviously in the horror genre, such as our artist for that we worked on Amazing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and our artist for the Hallows Eve. And today we have another incredible talent with us talking about the Spine-Tingling Spider-Man, which is this recently ended miniseries, which was out of this world crazy with its art style and story. You get one of the weirdest Spider-Man stories in a long time, but with such incredibly high detailed artwork that just completely blows your mind. And joining me for this episode to talk to the artist, Juan Ferreyra, we have Ashley as well, who recently just joined the Spideydude Radio Network.
Hi.
And Juan, introduce, and Zach behind the scenes as well, running the show for us.
Yes, doing that. We're broadcasting not only terrestrially, but we're broadcasting on the internet.
Yes, so we're live, and we'll also be broadcasting this on the Radio Horror Show tonight. If you missed any part of it and you want to listen to it, if you're in the Massachusetts area, Radio Horror airs from 10 p.m. till 12, and it's will be playing alongside Jessica Mercy, who is a model / musician. So we'll have two back-to-back spine-tingling, awesome horror stories to talk about. Juan, thank you for coming on the show.
Hi, how are you? Nice for having me.
Yes, definitely. When I first heard about this book, I was really apprehensive because when I hear about like a horror story with Superman or Spider-Man, I'm always like, why are we doing that? They're the friendly neighborhood characters. But when I dived right into this and I read every issue, I couldn't stop reading one issue after the other, especially when we got to who the villains were behind the scenes, which makes a lot of sense, and then who the mastermind was behind the scene. And I was like really gripped by it, and your artwork just completely floored me. I might have seen it before somewhere else, but in this context, it was fantastic, especially in this giant, like really magazine thick format comic book, which was issue 0.
Exactly. Okay, thanks. Yes. Yes, it's always interesting to do horror stories with characters that are not usually involved in the horror stories, so it was fun. And the issue that you're mentioning actually came out as a digital comic first. It was
correct.
Like for the Marvel app, and you could just swipe it, so it was like an infinite comic.
Yeah,
it was strange, and when we were doing that, it was also difficult to then translate it into the comic format, but I guess it came out pretty good.
Yeah, issue 0 is really it has a flow to it, thanks to that type of style. But I know that it's a completely different world where it's almost like you're almost doing like storyboarding, right? Where you're having to like, kind of build it that way.
It's a different format. It's fun. For me, for the reading it digitally in a cell phone is the best option.
Yeah.
To scroll it with one finger and it doesn't like zoom into the panels and stuff like that. For me, it's annoying. I just like reading the comic old school, like reading on paper. So
I did it both ways.
For digital, I think it's the best one that I found so far. And doing it is fun to do long panelings and things like that. But for example, doing the digital format, it scrolls down, and it's weird because I always pictured Spider-Man going up, like buildings and things like that. So in every issue, he was going down, down, down all the time, and I got tired of drawing him going down. So I told my editor, the next issue we'll have to ask the readers to lock their phones, and I'm going to turn around the reading order. So you change, and you have to actually flip your phone to read it correctly, and then he starts to go up, and he goes up in the final issue, and that was pretty fun to work and play with the readers.
I'm gonna have to do it that way.
You can only read it on the digital format to realize that the panels start to turn a little bit, and then you flip your phone. But if you don't lock it, it will fuck you up. Sorry. It will be a problem for your reading experience.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is really cool that it literally is one of just you can it's designed that because we're going to talk to Ron Friends here on the network pretty soon.
Nice.
And they had done a next story for Marvel Unlimited, and I was very curious how what the differences was. But the fact that you can now tailor the formatting on it to where it can be a completely different reading experience, it actually takes advantage of that, that style. And I think that's really insanely cool. And I'm gonna have to reread these now digitally as well as in the comic format.
Anix, the 90s annual superhero, the one with the missing arm?
No. But I'm just talking about the way that this book reads digitally.
Oh,
You have to. That's what he was saying, is that it's tailored now with the digital format. Like, we're reading this in the floppies, right? But they made it different on the Marvel Unlimited app. So I'm gonna have to read it.
The issues number 0 was actually a digital comic first.
Yeah.
But then the second series that we did, Spine-Tingling the Spider-Man, the second story, it was actually done on regular format. Like comic
Okay.
book.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was thought out as a normal comic. The first one was digital, and this one, so a different take.
Yeah, I think that
story
they're both really cool. We've got people in our comment section actually saying that they love your work, so it's really cool. Thank you, Sarah.
When you what were some artists that influenced your artwork? Because I see a lot of EC style comics in your artwork from like the 50s.
Actually, I got an influence from the middle of the 80s. I read in Argentina. I live in Argentina, and the comics that I used to get here were mostly DC comics. I never read Marvel comics growing up because I couldn't find them. So I'm a Superman fan. I started reading John Byrne comics and all the 1985, 86 onward of Superman, and all artists related to Superman and stuff like that. Also, so all those artists like Dan Jurgens, Jerry Ordway, all of them are amazing for me. John Bogdanov, I don't know. Also, I don't know, Alan Davis. I don't know. We have influence from everywhere, from all over the place. Like, there's a lot of artists that I really liked. And so I mostly grew up with DC Comics, and then when I started getting older, I was able to get more Marvel comics. But for example, until I worked on Spider-Man, I think I never read a Spider-Man book before. So
Oh, wow.
We're reading
That's
my
awesome.
Spider-Man comic was the first time reading a Spider-Man comic in full, I think.
I got to say,
I read Spider-Man on the stories, so like events, but not, I don't know, Amazing Spider-Man, things like that.
I love the fourth issue, and I've got it pulled up for those that are audio listeners right now. This cover is just awesome. I love the way you incorporated the mask as almost like a jail cell, and it's really, really cool. So what did you read? One of our listeners was asking live here. What did he read? What did you read to prepare for Spine-Tingling? What was the books you read?
I didn't read many books. I read the script, and I think that was it.
Okay.
And before that, I don't know. I bought some Spider-Man comics, but mostly I think I read it digitally, and I saw the artwork. I didn't read any particular stories, so I just went for it. Sometimes I don't want to read that much because I don't want to get influenced by it. So if we read too much, maybe the art will go into me, and I wanted to do something different, like not trying to follow someone else's step or something like that. I wanted to just jump into it and see what my take would be. So I just went for it and didn't read any other Spider-Mans.
Yeah, they said that makes sense. That's very cool. And they thanked you for it. So thanks, Sarah. Ashley, you got a question? You want to jump in?
I actually have a couple of questions. While you were doing this, did you get any pushback from editing or whatever with the style that you took when you were creating this and drawing it?
The style that I used, the scary style, you mean?
Yeah, did they have any issues with editing or say like, can you change this or we don't like this?
Okay. No, I think editor Dick Lowe, I love working with him. He has great ideas and he's really easy to work with. I don't know, maybe with the first story that we did, we talked a little bit more and we had more input into it. But especially also in the first issue 0, there's a lot of differences between the when he's awake and when he's dreaming. So when he's awake, I just went for a classic ink, pen and ink, and digital coloring. And when he's dreaming, I went with more of watercolors and pencils and things like that. I work
Yeah, I was
more
gonna ask
traditional,
that.
and so I made the difference
Mm-hmm.
clear when he's awake and when he's sleeping. And in the second series, he starts more traditional, and when he gets into the scary world, he's also like more dark and a lot of paints and watercolors and things like that. So,
So you
but
use watercolor.
yes,
It's
most of all my stuff is made by on paper, and
that's yep,
I
that
use
was another question
watercolors,
I asked.
and
I
then
was
so.
gonna ask.
But for the regular ones, it's just paint, ink, and and brush maybe, and pens, and then I color it with Photoshop. But most of the stuff that I like to do is just with watercolors, maybe gouache. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the story that I'm doing. For a Thunderbolt comic that I did, I used all gray papers and watercolors and white paint, and then I color it digitally. I don't know because I was bored and wanted something different
That's really
and things like that.
Do
I
you
did
have
a
any?
Hulk. I did a Hulk comic, and I painted all on a brown paper with I don't know. It had a lot of texture. It was just one issue, so I gave that a try. And I don't know. I am always changing and trying to do different things, so I don't get bored.
Yeah, your art style it looks so raw, but so polished, and it doesn't look like it was like digitally really edited. It looks like it was taken straight off of a paper. So I super appreciated like the rawness of your art style. It's
Cool.
absolutely beautiful. That's why I was like, it
Thanks.
doesn't look like it was edited. So you saying you did it on paper and the way that you had done it, it translates and it's incredible. So
Okay. Thanks. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the idea.
How much input did you have in the story, or was it all Saladin?
Sometimes I think in the first one I was maybe able to say a little bit more, but in the second story he had like almost everything written, so I didn't have that much input to give into it. But either way, I changed a lot of times. I changed the script, not that hard. That I changed paneling, for example. So I like to do a lot of two-page spreads that are not on the original script. I turn 2 pages into a double spread, or I move one panel to another panel, and things like that. The I don't know, writers like, or at least they never complain that I do that. Sometimes I add pages. Yes, of some of the issues that I did, we added some panel pages, and then I erased some pages, and then I move a lot of panels so I could have splash pages and things like that. It's always fun. Yes, because the writer is like working on a script just for 1 week maybe to do a 1 month comic, and I'm working on that comic, reading the script for a month long. So I have more time to think about the scene and everything. So I have more time to come up with new takes on how to do one scene. So that's the advantage of just. Also, the disadvantage is that I can work on just one comic a month. Instead, writers can do a lot of stories. They're lucky for that. But I just, with one comic, stuck with it. So I have to give 100%. Try
I
to
was
make
gonna
it as good as possible.
yeah, I was gonna ask if you'd ever done anything Marvel style where they just give you that plot synopsis and you're kind of allowed to kind of just flow from here.
A couple of times, for example, on Green Arrow with Ben Percy, we worked together so well that at the end it was mostly kind of like that.
Okay.
He just gave pointers and things like that. It just drew, and then he came up with new ideas. It was back and forward. It was pretty amazing, pretty good.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned off air before we were talking, before we got started, that that Ahmed's style was kind of very detached a little bit, and you were mainly working a lot with Nick Lowe, and he wasn't providing a ton of feedback. You were just when you were sending pages in, right?
Yeah, exactly. On the first series, he talked a little bit more, and this one was just he was like just saying everything's okay. I like what I do, and he didn't want to make any change or things like that. If that was more on the editor. But for example, there are other writers. When I work on Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, it's similar to this one. It's also like a dream world and things like that.
Yes.
The writers, especially B. Earl, we would talk over WhatsApp all the time. He was sending me ideas and things like that. I went backward, he sent me artwork or references, and then I sent him references, and we talked a lot more. So it was all the time talking.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's different styles for every writer. So every writer is a new world. You never know what you're gonna get.
You're right.
You're looking through this, especially in the Zero issue. A book like Doctor Strange would definitely fit your style a lot.
Thanks. It's funny you say that because right now I'm drawing a little scene with Spider-Man. I have it right here on the computer, and it's Spidey and Doctor Strange. They're together.
Oh, cool.
Oh, awesome!
Exciting.
I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. Doctor Strange
Nice.
and Spider-Man are my two favorite characters.
Cool. Yes, I'm drawing him right now. He's not doing that much. I'm just doing 4 pages for an upcoming Amazing Spider-Man issue.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
I don't know which one. Yeah, I know which one, but I can't say.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
Don't give away too much.
We don't give. Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to say that.
But
It'll get you in trouble.
I've been drawing that this weekend. They offered me. I should have said no, but it was like for Amazing Spider-Man that I never drew. So.
Is it a one-off? Is it a one-off, a break from the main story?
Yeah, I think it's like a flashback scene or something like that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do you, just out of curiosity, you said you had to paint these. Do you have any of the paintings covers?
Yes.
Show off.
Most of them are sold. People buy
I saw that cabinet behind you, and I was like, I guarantee that's where all his original artwork is. I know. I see that cabinet in so often in so many artist studios. He has to have the original artwork.
Also have original artwork. So
I'm so excited right now.
This one is a cover that's.
Oh my god.
This one too, Ghost Rider.
I'm a huge
Let me
Ghost
make
Rider
it
fan.
solo. That way everybody can see it.
Show them up again. We made you bigger, so show them off again.
No, because those one I cannot show, but it doesn't matter.
Oh,
so good.
That's so pretty.
Oh, is that from the Punisher Nick Fury book coming out?
Yes, this is Nick Fury. This is Carnage.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
That Carnage looks incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Max book coming out for Nick Fury.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze from the 90s.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah. The Ghost
I'm
Rider.
just fangirling so hard.
And then
so amazing.
I think I have some original pages for.
Well, the Ghost Rider is the whole reason I learned how to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
As you should. I mean.
It's Ghost Rider, Batman, Black Widow, Captain America. They all ride motorcycles. I was like, damn it, I'm gonna learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Right, Sarah? I'm thinking the same thing. That's really, really freaking cool. Just for audio listeners, Vinkman in the chat, you asked. I said a next, but you thought I said annex there.
Yeah, I thought you meant that like superhero from the 90s. I was like, whoa, they're bringing him back?
No.
I mean, I know there's all about representation. He's like, got to be the only like amputee superhero out there, really.
Yeah, or hero amputee. Like he checks a lot of boxes. So.
Unless you count what's that guy named Bushmaster from the Serpent Society?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his arms and legs cut off in a bad accident, so he became a cyber.
some Venom pages.
Oh, hang on. We got some Venom
Oh,
pages.
please blow that up.
wow.
Venom's
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
That is so pretty.
Look at the borders with the webbing.
Oh yeah, we will.
That's like something Tom
I
and
saw
Carl
your
used to do.
Venom vampire that you have is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I sold that one already. I
Do
don't
you
have
have
it anymore.
Juan? Do you have a book coming? Do you have some art coming out in the upcoming Blood Hunt?
Yes,
do?
this Venom 33 and 34 is a tie-in
To Blood Hunt? Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
so I'm drawing both of those issues.
Oh well.
There's a lot of vampires and things like that.
Which is right up Chris's alley and frankly Ashley's alley too. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm currently reading Blade. Brian Hill came on my radio show. He's
Brian Hill is
Blade.
amazing.
Yeah.
Brian is. I work with him. He's great. I love working with him.
Yeah, and I especially
Right.
ordered all of the blood-stained mature content issues from Marvel. They're supposed to come in like a blood-stained poly bag or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm really curious, if I break open the poly bag it comes in, does it decrease the value, or do you have to break open the poly bag to get CZGC created? It's that eternal question.
I don't know.
There's certain prepping mechanisms there, Chris, that you can do before you send it off.
I'm not sending it off, but I'm always curious about that. It's like if you get a comic book that comes in a poly bag to begin with, if you break it out of the poly bag, let's say have an artist sign it, does it decrease the value because you broke it out of the poly bag, like breaking a toy out of the plastic?
It depends. If the artist signs it with his own blood, it increases the power, the value.
That's
So,
yeah.
and I think it'll be cool, but you have to like film it and like cutting his hand and everything.
Yeah, that'd be a little messy. You might need
That would be
need an
cool.
EMT nearby, but it would be cool.
I think it was like a comic that someone wrote or drew with his own blood, something that was.
You know what? I've heard that too.
Blood.
Yeah.
I did one with coffee, but that is not the same.
No, that stains everything.
I mean, coffee is my blood, so I don't know.
Me
Maybe
too.
it is.
I have more
similar.
coffee than blood inside of me, so it's kind of the same.
But Juan, I'm a vampire writer of vampire comics and graphic novels, so I'll have to think about doing that next time I'm at a signing. I'm going to cut my hand and just like handprint my books with my blood. I'm actually
you'll be able to sign one, and then the people in the line will leave.
Right. And I'll be at a con with two super duper professional writers who've written Vampirella multiple times. So
nice.
I'll have to see if they want to get on it, and we just all do like a bloodletting on our tables of signatures of vampire books.
Mixing
this
hands,
turn.
mixing blood.
I did not expect.
You have like blood bags behind you.
Hey,
connected with a pen. And
listen, it's not that far off. In the
blood,
70s, it's not that far off. In the 70s, Kiss did it with Marvel.
I know.
Kiss.
He
used to they jump on little chickens and stuff like that also. So selling the books.
Yeah, they used to do all sorts of stuff. Man,
anything to sell. You have to sell.
How long does it take you to do an average page?
I do mostly one a day.
Wow.
But I never work on a single page from the beginning to the end, so I actually don't know. But I have to do the layouts, and then I do the pencils, and I do the inks, and then I do the coloring. But I guess one a day is I can do that.
Like how many hours?
I wake up. I start working at 9, and then I finish at 5. So, yeah, maybe I can pencil a page in 3-4 hours, and then ink it in 2 hours.
Wow.
And then color it in maybe 1 hour. If someone does the flats for me. But.
So I've asked questions. When I'm talking to artists, I always ask, do you prefer doing your own inks, or do you like working with inkers? Is there any inkers that you've worked with?
I never worked with an inker before, so I don't know. I always just work with my own inking, so I don't know. But I worked with some other colorists. But at the beginning of my career, I didn't like the colors that I was getting from other colorists, so I decided to color myself. And it's one of the things that I love most. It's just the color. I actually colored some of the comics for other people. So Conan and Solomon Kane and stuff like that.
So how long does it take you to color a page?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on, maybe I can color in 1 hour or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Depends on the detail and how much detail.
I wish my friend Neil was here because he's big on colors. He loves colorists and color art. So that
Actually, because I do a lot of watercolors on the actual pages that I work, it makes the coloring part easier. I have just to drop some flats and maybe some lighting, and that's it. I don't have to do a lot of rendering because it's already been done on the inking stage.
yeah,
But it's half ink, half color, so it makes it faster.
that's really cool. Chris?
One of the biggest things that stood out to me about this entire series was just the unusual way that the panels sometimes were structured, and just an absolute upside down weird collage of colors and images. Now, I know you said you did it for the digital version specifically for that way, but is that how like every single piece that you draw looks like? Is it just very similar to Spine-Tingling, or do you try to sometimes do like normal panels to break up to break up how you do things, or is this just always the way that you want your books to look like?
No, actually, I want them to be normal. I don't want to do like crazy paneling all the time because I think people, it will be too much. Like if it's crazy all the time, you cannot make it distinctive or like to shock you. If all the time it's crazy. So sometimes I start to do it like normal, and then start to switch on the important parts of the story to make it do different panelings or double splash pages or things like that to spice it up a little bit. So yeah, I don't. Also, for example, I don't like to do backgrounds on every panel because if you do backgrounds, and it's full of backgrounds, it's a lot of information for the reader to take, and it's you don't realize, but you get tired of like watching too many details. So sometimes I don't put too much backgrounds on background, so the reader can rest a little bit and concentrate on what they're reading and things like that. So it's always a balance, right? Trying to I don't know, to make it more interesting for the reader. That's what I like to read. The stuff that I like to read like that.
You don't want to be predictable after a while either, and like be like, oh, this is just his art style. So you throwing in those little surprise elements and things,
Exactly.
like, yeah, it keeps it fresh, keeps it new, and the reader is also like, where is this going? And then you're like, bam, like now we're gonna do something crazy. So I can appreciate that.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe next issue I'll just use my other hand. I'm my left hand instead of my right hand. So I use my other hand I'll draw totally different, and people will say this guy is not drawing very well, and that way I'm going to surprise them, but they are not going to buy any more of my comics. So, but they're going to be surprised. No.
So you're ambidextrous? You can draw?
No, with just one hand.
Oh, okay. I was like,
he said he's not good with the other one. He's just going to throw it in there so they can be like, wow, he sucks.
I can draw with the other one, but really bad. So
that's awesome.
Are you going to be at any conventions coming up?
Coming up? No, New York, maybe.
New York Comic Con?
Yeah, New York Comic Con. I try to go every year.
Cool.
I wish I could go more to more conventions in the States, but it's so far away for me. It's like the closest town that I have is Miami, and it's like 9 hours from my home. So 9 hours straight. That it's never straight. So I have to go to another city, to Buenos Aires or Santiago de Chile, and then I have to go to Miami, and then move. So it's if I was living in the States, I would go to a lot of conventions. But no, I just like to go to one. So
that makes sense.
Or I used to go to San Diego or things like that. But in the future, I want to try to some other different places. Like, I don't know, Seattle or Heroes Con or whatever.
Sarah in our chat asks, "Do you have a favorite villain that you like to draw, or one that you've done yet that you would like to?"
Villain that I like to draw, I don't know. The ones that I did Killmonger, and that was fun drawing him. Brian Hill was the writer, so that was pretty cool. And a villain that I would love to do is Lex Luthor, but because I'm a super fan. Hello.
Are you Marvel?
Joker, maybe.
Are you Marvel exclusive, or are you completely freelance?
I used to be exclusive, but now I'm free, so I just go back and forward. I'm finishing some Venom stuff, doing this Spider-Man thing, and I have to do some stuff for DC next. So
Sweet.
Awesome.
I'm just going back and forward.
So basically, you text them or you email them, "Hey, I'm available right now for this," and then
exactly. Yes, I email like the editors that I know, and let them say like in a month I'm going to be free, and sometimes they give me stuff, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the editors they don't work anymore. That's why you have to travel all the time to conventions to meet new editors and to be in the loop, to know them, because sometimes they just move, they don't work anymore, they move from one company to another. So it's hard work.
Awesome. Well, Juan, thank you so much for coming on to Spideydude Radio Network and the Radio Horror Show to talk a little bit about this book and also give us some previews of what you got coming up. Very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to your Blood Hunt stuff and that obviously Amazing Spider-Man book or whatever it's going to be, tie-in, flashback, or whatever it is that you called it in the main book. That's really awesome that you get to work in the main. Two of the biggest books, again, being Venom and Spider-Man, right? The Amazing Spider-Man right now. Yeah. So I will definitely be buying those. Blood Hunt, for everyone is not familiar with that, that is a big 63-book Marvel crossover event starting in May. I believe it starts on Free Comic Book Day as well, because it's a Free Comic Book Day issue. So, and then issue number 1 comes out with 1,000 different variant covers. The one I was referring to is a extra special gory issue of 5 extra pages added in there of gore content, exclusive for mature readers. So look forward to that as well. But Juan, thank you so much for coming on the show. Why don't you plug where your social media is, where people can find you?
Thank you for having me. And I don't know, I'm on Twitter or X, and also on Instagram. Like, you have to write my name, JF. I'm not going to say it because people are not going to remember it.
So I will include. So for those that are watching us on YouTube, I will and the YouTube pages and everything. I did tag you on X, so that this stream is on your Twitter stream. I will include all of your links to your social media in the description. So
okay, cool, thanks. And people can write me anytime. I'd like to speak with my fans and things like that. It's always fun because I'm always alone working in my home, no one to talk to. So
human interaction sounds like.
Yes, no interaction. No one there. So
it's a beautiful home from what we can see. So
yes, my wife is an architect. She made it. It's pretty cool. I love it. Great place.
Once again, thank you so much, Juan, for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me, guys. It was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, everybody. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we're about to take off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of it, and we'll see you next time.